Ladies and gentlemen, the Idiot Reel on KSFO. You're going to hear from Michelle Obama, Steve Cohen, Congressman. Tea Partiers are like the KKK. Phil Hare, Congressman. Hey, who cares about the Constitution? Obama gives us an insurance lesson via his car insurance experience. Maxine Waters, the vulgar voices of the Tea Partiers. Harry Reid, Cruella Sebelius, Deborah Wasserman Schultz, and the president of the Plowshares Fund blowing up fireworks on Fox. Ladies and gentlemen, the Idiot Reel.
Iraq has led by example. When we took our trip to Africa and visited his home country in Kenya.
Tea Party people are kind of like without robes and hoods. They have really shown a very hardcore, angry side of America that is against any type of diversity.
I don't worry about the Constitution on this, to be honest.
That's the U.S. Constitution that you swore to uphold.
I believe that it says we have the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
Okay.
Tell me, it doesn't matter to me.
When I was young, just got out of college, I had to buy auto insurance. I had a beat-up old car. I was paying my premiums every month. After about 6 months, I got rear-ended, and I called up Acme and said, you know, I'd like to see if I can get my car repaired, and they laughed at me over the phone because really this was set up not to actually provide insurance. What it was set up was to meet the legal requirements, but it really wasn't serious insurance. Now, it's one thing if you got an old beat-up car that you can't get fixed. It's another thing if your kid is sick or you've got breast cancer.
We hear the loud, vulgar voices of the Tea Party.
Who's one of your favorite White Sox players growing up?
You know, I thought that, the truth is that a lot of the Cubs I like too. But I did not become a Sox fan until I moved to Chicago.
Because the loud minority made a lot of noise. Now that the legislation passed, it's amazing how much different people's attitude is. I mean, traveling on an airplane, people are so nice to me, too. We have people, and it wasn't that way before. We have people sending me notes in church.
I would like to first thank all of you. You are the real patriots of America. You have come here today to save your country. My name is Maxine Waters, and Connie Rice is nothing but another neocon, and she doesn't represent me.
But remember, the Nebraska deal was terrific for our country. Why do I say that? Because now everybody has a Nebraska deal.
I don't think a lot of people feel like you do, Senator, on that. I think there are a lot of people who are disturbed about the fact that on the eve of the vote, all of a sudden Senator Ben Nelson walks out and he suddenly says, I'm going to vote on this and I got a special deal for my state. And all the other states are just standing around saying, well, what about us?
Well, do you think it would have been better that I just let the bill fail?
I don't.
You're speechless.
Well, I think that the vast majority of lawsuits have been filed by attorneys general in states where they have also some interest in higher office.
We actually have not required in this law that you carry health insurance. So you can feel free to choose not to carry health insurance. That's just going to be reflected in the tax in the tax category that you're in on your tax return. But there is no requirement in this law that you must carry health insurance.
The last I checked, Sarah Palin's not much of an expert on nuclear issues.
But the strain of criticism has been out there among other Republicans as well. They think you're restricting use of nuclear weapons too much.
And what I would say to them is that if the Secretary of Defense and the Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff are comfortable with it, I'm probably going to take my advice from them.
This is not designed to get Kim Jong-il to follow our example. This is designed exactly the opposite, to build up the international cooperation you need to put a cage around Kim Jong-il, to contain
That is a left-wing fantasy. That is a left-wing fantasy that we are ever going to have some sort of agreement with terrorists.
Hey, man, don't smear me. Who the hell do you think you are talking to me like that?
Most of the budget is Medicare, Social Security, Medicaid, defense spending. and interest on the national debt. That accounts for about 70% of the budget. And so all this other stuff that sometimes we argue about, that's not the big stuff. We're going to have to tackle the big stuff if we're going to get our budget under control. Boy, that was a long answer. I'm sorry.
17-and-a-half-minute answer, and he never answered.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Idiot Reel, a compilation of all the stuff you've heard during the course of the week here on this, the Sussman Show on KSFO. Officer Vic, another great week, my man.
Yes, sir. Enjoyed it greatly.